Right, I think it's time to revisit the cost of living crisis and give people an update because it's just not getting any better and everyone needs to know about this. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's Lewis back again with another video, and today it just feels like everything is getting even worse and that fear in the markets probably couldn't get any higher. The cost of living crisis is one hell of a beast that looks like it's here to stay. Let's be honest, none of us can rely on the government to help us, so stop waiting around for that and take some action yourself. Here's how. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I hope that you stick around if you're interested in learning more about money, becoming financially educated, and making better decisions with yours. If so, get subscribed to the channel, and if you're as pissed off as the rest of us about the cost of living, hit that like button on this video to get this video out to as many people as possible, as it is an important one. So firstly, the Bank of England is raising interest rates once again, this time to 1.25% to the base rate. This is expected to happen on Thursday, which was yesterday by the time this video goes out on Friday. So it's probably already been done, but I'm recording this on Wednesday, so it hasn't happened yet. Yes, people, the YouTube multiverse is real. So the last time that the base rate of interest went over 1% was in 2009, after the global financial crisis, when Gordon Brown was in charge of the country. Remember those days? Back then, Bitcoin's value was zero, Apple was about to release the iPhone 3GS, and Man United was still a good football team. Yep, that really was a long time ago. I had to get that in there. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I've not got much to celebrate these days, so I had to get that in somewhere. Sorry, United fans. So why are they raising the interest rate again? Well, in simple terms, it's to keep inflation down. Or shall we just say under control? No, that doesn't really work either. Quick, look at this picture of a kitten. Yeah, that'll distract them from everything going under. No, in all seriousness, the hope that the Bank of England have, and by the way, the Federal Reserve in the USA is doing the same thing, is that if they raise the interest rate, that'll make debt much more expensive, which will deter people from spending money that they don't have and instead save more to keep the cost of things down. The more people spend money on things at these high prices, the more that the companies sell them at can justify these prices long term. And people will eventually be completely priced out of things that used to be the norm, such as buying a home, driving, and buying food. This is corporate greed at its finest. So increasing that interest rate means that the banks, mortgage lenders, credit card companies, and other lenders will increase the interest rate in which you borrow money, even on the majority of existing contracts if you've taken out a loan at a variable rate, which is what the majority offer. So this makes borrowing more expensive. However, raising the rates is good for savers, as the savings accounts that you hold should see a rise in the interest rate also, so that the cash you have in there will rise at a quicker rate. So how do you set yourself up for success with this one? It's actually kind of simple. If you haven't, it's the time right now to start building your financial foundation. Get out of your debts. They are the thing that will drag you down even further through this mud if you don't. After that, build an emergency fund of savings that will cover you for however many months that you feel comfortable with of essential expenses for you. The general consensus here is 3 to 6 months. But if anything, the pandemic and the resulting cost of living crisis coming out of it has taught us that it probably pays to be even more cautious. Other than that, if you have a mortgage and you need to remortgage soon, it's probably best to at least think about doing it ASAP to ensure that you lock in the lowest rate possible, as recently the rates have only been going one way, and no one can or should predict where they might go next. Me personally, I'm cash flowing everything these days, even the stuff that I put on a credit card like groceries and petrol. I'm paying off my balances in full each month, not carrying any debt and paying ridiculous interest rates on that, and I'm just saving money for anything that I want to buy to ensure that I can actually afford it. If you need to, budget. Write everything down on paper to see exactly how much you're spending on each category. If you don't want to do that, then there is another way, and you can watch this video for what that is. After that, I invest the rest of my money. Right now, the stock market is down. The S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the overall stock markets of the world are in a bear market, which is actually a good thing for investors. This means that the money you can put away into the market for years now will be worth so much more in the long run. Markets go down, but they also rebound eventually and go up dramatically. Make sure that you're ready to profit massively from that next bull market run. Next up is the possibility of a recession. It came as a shock and a surprise to the Bank of England and the government, but literally no one else in this country, that the UK's gross domestic product, or GDP for short, shrank by 0.3% in April. If this happens again in the next quarter, then we will officially be in a recession. And the economy shrank again in May by 0.1%, so it's looking likely that this will happen. Investopedia defines a recession as a significant decline in general economic activity, typically recognised as 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline. This means that the value of the pound decreases, so we will get less for our money. Unemployment rates rise as companies make less profit during a recession and can't afford to keep as many employees as they would in good economic times. House prices will come crashing down, great for first-time buyers, not so great for current owners. And of course, those variable rates on debt will increase. Oh, and stock markets crash too. But as I said before, this is actually a good thing. So again, building that financial foundation is crucial in times like these. Don't leave it to chance, and make sure that you're covered financially if you lose your job, so that you can at least have a buffer of cash for when you're looking for the next one. And then of course, I have to address the cost of living crisis, and most specifically, petrol. The price of fuel is absolutely out of control right now, making driving more and more of a luxury over a necessity for most people. Quite honestly and frankly, I would say to the majority of people out there, especially those who live in or very near to cities, if you want to save money, just stop driving. I mean that. What's the point in paying over £100 on average to fill up your car? What is the point in paying what is expected to be £2 per litre for petrol recently? That's the highest of all time, by the way. In the space of a year, we've gone from queuing up to get fuel at the cheapest it's been in decades to avoiding it like the plague at the most expensive it's ever been. So if you live in an area that has good public transport links, you will save yourself a ton of money and cut your carbon footprint at the same time by simply using those instead. Get the bus, train, tram or tube to work. Cycle to work if you can. Most companies offer a public transport discount on tickets, and some offer a cycle to work scheme. Use them. And for those of you who absolutely have to drive, then you can at least follow these tips if you want to in order to bring your costs down. So download 2 apps, Petrol Prices and Waze. Petrol Prices does exactly what it says on the tin. It tracks the prices of petrol in your area. So when the anxiety fuel time comes to refuel your car, you can at least get the cheapest price in your area. Waze is another app that helps with this, so that you can also use this app to verify the price of what Petrol Prices offers. Waze is a crowdsourced navigation app that allows anyone who uses it to actually update the prices of petrol at local forecourts. So you can actually get real-time price updates if you use this app. I use Waze a lot, and I actually update the price of petrol in my local area when I can, so that everyone can see this and pay the lowest price. And the last tip is pretty simple. Don't top up your petrol every now and again. It's a false economy doing this. Just fill up your tank, pay the one price of the month and do it again next month. It will be cheaper in the long run by doing this. Buying in bulk, as I say, is always the way. And if you find yourself needing to fill up more than once a month, get another car. I mean, seriously, what the hell are you playing at? Like I say, as always, none of this is actually financial advice. It's just my thoughts and opinion and how I would do it. It's not going to be simple for everyone to follow, as there's no one way that will ensure everyone can be okay during this crisis. But I can say from experience that at least having a financial foundation built will ensure that you won't worry about money anywhere near as much as you probably do now without having one. It's a great starting point for you when trying to build your net worth and be a little better off with money in order to live a more stress-free life. I get it, there's a lot going on right now and it's scary, but I'd say that the majority of us here have a lot of life left in us and it won't be like this forever. I've lived through recessions before. Your parents and grandparents have as well. If you've never experienced something like this, talk to them. How did they get through these times? They'll have a wealth of experience to draw from, and so will economic experts that have influenced me, such as Dave Ramsey, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, and Peter Lynch. And of course, subscribing to Every Quid will help too. So I really hope that you found this video helpful in some way, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Let people know about it as well, it really helps to grow this channel. If you haven't already, consider subscribing for more money related content. I post videos every Monday and Friday at 6:30 PM UK time, so stick around for that. Also, make sure to follow me on all of my socials for even more. Grab your free money and stocks down below in the description, and remember, until next time, every quid counts. See you soon.